All right, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Gaming Reactions. And today we're gonna do another Let's Catch Up podcast, and who better to do it with than the man sitting, well, actually he's sitting right next to me. But one of the most smart, brilliant minds to ever walk the planet, the thinker. What's up, man?
You wouldn't say that if you see my grades in school, man. Tell that to my teachers. But I know Gaming Reactions have been on a hiatus. It's been my mission for these past few months to find him. He was been on the milk carton boxes. I finally got him back.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he would reach out to me from time to time, and I just ignore him. But
I put Amber alerts out there. I put Silver alerts. I put the Negro alerts. Have you seen Gaming in Reaction anywhere?
And it worked.
It worked. We finally got him out.
It worked. But you guys know my steez. It's just been, again, it's just been very, very busy. Actually, especially in these times, spending time with family, doing work.
Family comes first.
Taking care of other stuff. But it feels good to be back in the booth, man. How you been, man?
Gaming first, family second? No, I meant family first, gaming second. That's right. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, she done heard you now.
Oh, man, I've been good. Just ready to talk about some topics. I know it's been a minute. A lot of major industry news has come out in these past few months that we need to catch up on.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do want to, just start off by just, what are you looking forward to, man? I mean, there's a lot of games that's coming out this year. Third party games. There's some first party titles that's coming out as well on both sides of the house. PlayStation. Well, actually, not for PlayStation, really, but mainly Xbox. But I don't think you're an Xbox gamer, are you?
No, I'm not an Xbox gamer, but I'm not what you would call a PlayStation fanboy. I just happen to have a PlayStation. To be honest, I just don't. For me personally, I don't see the value of owning multiple systems because my time is usually limited. So if I were to pick a system, it'd just been PlayStation. But
Right.
that doesn't mean I hate on people who only play Xbox or only play Nintendo. I grew up with an Atari and Nintendo. I've played every system. I don't discriminate. It's just a matter of convenience. I'm just used to the PlayStation. But when I see a beautiful Xbox game, sometimes I wish, oh man, I wish I had an Xbox just to play that game.
And speaking of Xbox, we have the Xbox Showcase shown in the background. I'm not sure if you saw this, but Xbox did show some games here, some first party titles. So you'll get the opportunity to check them out if you haven't seen it. I don't want to spoil it, but did you see it or?
I haven't seen
Oh,
it.
this will be your first time.
No,
Okay.
I haven't seen it, so this will be new to me.
Okay, cool. So, while we discussed a few things, and if you want to check it out, man, there's a lot of good games that they're going to show here that I'm very interested in playing, but I'm hoping that they come to PlayStation. I have my reasons around it, but we'll talk offline about something transpired, which led me to say no, never again. When it comes to Xbox,
All right.
but that's another conversation itself. But hey, I am excited about some of these games. Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah. Beautiful.
You have to be excited about that.
Absolutely beautiful. We were just talking about that before the stream went live, and I haven't seen the final trailer yet. Gaming and Reactions put it up for me earlier. From what I've seen, I'm impressed. I don't want to see the full trailer though, because it looks like it's a lot of footage, and I like to go in fresh, surprised. But from what I've seen, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I was making a comment to him earlier that one thing I hope is just not you don't get like combat fatigue, because it does look like there's going to be a lot of bosses, kind of like borrowing from the Souls type blueprint, that all you're doing is just fighting these like beautifully created super bosses, gorgeous. But sometimes where it's just like if that's really it's very linear and all you're doing is like going from one setting to the next and you're leveling up, but it's still very linear, and then at the end of that level you're just fighting the super boss and there's no break in between with like interacting with NPCs. I don't know, sometimes you get combat fatigue. And then there's also the price, which I find unusual. Like,
Yeah.
it looks like a AAA title, but it's being priced at the old school price of $60. So I don't know if that's just a marketing strategy because this is a new studio. I couldn't fault them for that. I don't know if they expect it to sell. Like, say they sell 1 million copies. Well, you just lost out on $10 million by not charging the new
Yeah,
standard.
the new standard $70.
$70. Now you're going
Right.
60, but that's $10 million. By not charging that extra $10. So I don't.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking about that as well. Since this is Game Science, from my understanding, that this is their first game. Game Science has been around, for a little bit. Chinese
Yeah.
video game studio, and with a game that's looking up to par and it's one of the most anticipated games for this year, you would think they would show it for the $70 price. So you're taking the risk of losing that huge amount of capital or whatever it's called, for just pricing it at $60. So,
Well, maybe I look at it like I remember when.
or do you think they're playing it safe?
Yeah, I think they're playing it. I think they're playing it safe just for the fact that they are kind of like the new kids on the block. And even though what they've shown so far looks like it's going to be a AAA title, just because maybe they don't have like the established credibility of some of the more well-known studios, maybe they do want to play it safe and charge the old school price of $60. And if it sells well, this could be a sleeper title. It sells well, and then maybe they have another game that's already in the works, and when that next game comes out, it'll be $70. So maybe this is just to get some good buzz and market it well to say, hey, look, I know we're the new kids on the block, but we've priced our game competitively to maybe attract new fans. That would be the smart play.
Yeah, it's I'm very excited for it.
You know what it also could be that I'm sure we'll talk about? How AI is going to affect the industry. There's been a lot of major news already with even like the voice actors. Did you hear about that? That pending strike, or they were thinking about going on strike, like these voice actors for video games, and how AI is threatening their jobs because they're now able to just take samples. All they need is a little sample from someone, and they could run a whole script, a whole audio script.
Right.
So how AI is going to transform. So this actually could show. I don't know if Game Sciences actually has used AI and saved on significant costs in making this game, and maybe this price point is actually a reflection that maybe this game didn't require that much money to make, because now they've utilized AI, and this is a Chinese-based company. You see that made in China label, you're like, uh-oh, this may not last.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You don't know. If this AI is going to make things super cheap, it may eliminate a lot of redundant jobs, and not to say it's going to bring down the price, but when you hear these stories of like, what was that game that cost $300 million, like Spider-Man 2?
Right.
Their budget was ridiculous. They made some money, but when you hear these budgets for these games, it's like, wow, they're spending that much money. But AI actually may give them significant cost savings if they could especially the coding of like the redundant coding that has to be done to set the framework and the foundation for most of these games. If AI can just like knock that out in a day or two, while it'll take a team of engineers and coders several months, that could be huge cost savings for these companies. And they may get smart and keep their game $60, but from what I understand, corporate greed, once the new standard is set at 70, even if they could save money, just like how like the airlines,
right, why go back,
prices go up, and then the price of oil drops. So then you think, oh, shouldn't airfare be less expensive, because they always tell us, oh, we have to raise our prices because oil has gone up. And then when oil drops, the fares don't go down because they're just greedy. Because it's like, well, if people are willing to spend this much, we'll just keep it at this price. And I think people are still willing to spend $70 on a game. So even if they're able to save money using AI, I still think they'll keep it at 70. But going back to Game Science, I think with Wukong, they're probably just marketing it at $60. I think just to get their foot in the door, just to get some new fan base and have more people buy the game.
Right. You just spoke about the AI technology. There has been a lot of layoffs lately with some studios closing. There's also been some consolidation as well, within the industry. That could be one piece of it that's not being spoken about, when it comes to these gaming giants, especially Microsoft. Microsoft is big in the AI space right now. So
Oh yeah.
that could it's like that unspoken word, right? So you get the news and say, oh, like, hey, we're gonna lay off this amount of people.
Yeah.
Like, what is the real reason behind why these developers are being laid off? And it's good that these, PlayStation and Microsoft is. I understand, right? Sometimes you have to make these tough decisions, and and then allowing these developers not to just walk out the door, but allowing them other opportunities to apply for other positions within the company. I think that's a good thing, but it is kind of heartbreaking when you have those huge numbers of like 1,700 people laid off or 2,000 people laid off, and this is what they do for a living, right? This is how they feed their families. I mean, they put their blood, sweat, and tears in making these video games to come later and say, hey, I'm sorry, I have to let you go, and here's the reason. I mean, I wish I was a fly on the wall so I can actually or hear on the wall just to hear what's going on.
Well, I could say just from a practical standpoint, this happens in almost every industry. Technology advances to the point where it replaces humans, and the board of directors is always looking at the bottom line, how to increase the stock price, and every company's biggest expense is employees. Healthcare, retirement plans. That's always the most expensive part of running a company. So anytime a company is able to utilize a tool to say, oh, we can go from X amount of people to this amount of people and still have the same level of productivity or even better, they're going to take it. You can go back and look at, one example is just Henry Ford when he introduced the assembly line, and that made production of automobiles economically feasible. Well, up until that point, everything was horse and buggy. You had an entire industry built on the horse and buggy. So you had stables, you had hay, you had hay manufacturers, you had people that cleaned up the horse poop, you had like the cobblers, the horseshoe. That's an entire. Think about how many jobs were created just supporting utilizing a horse for transportation. And then here we go, a new piece of technology comes in and it completely decimates them. And it's like all those people that they were working in that horse industry, that's it. They're out of work. Same thing with what Netflix did to Blockbuster. Those brick and mortar video. Now if you see one, it's a front for drugs. There's just no way a video game rental store is making money. It's just with all the online streaming services, that's technology. So every industry, even when you think like a safe job, like a fast food worker. Okay, you're a teenager, what's your first job? Work at McDonald's, be a burger flipper, whatever. Now they got robots that are flipping burgers. They got fast food places where you can't even go in anymore. It's just drive-through.
Right.
You see these places where it's just drive-through. You put in your order, it comes down a tube, and you got machines making your food. It is so even that just goes to show you even those jobs are not safe. So you have an industry where it's a bunch of coders, computer people. 10, 15 years ago, that was like, hey, you want a safe job? Get into computer programming. But now it's coming to the point where that even those jobs may be at risk due to AI. And it's really a shame that, but I'm just my point is it's not a new thing. It sucks when you see like what you said 1,700 people got laid off. This has happened countless times across so many different industries. Just when you think your job is safe, something technology comes along and then just makes it obsolete. I mean, that's just the way of the world. And you have to be able to adapt. I hope these people that got laid off are able to get work in other places within this same industry.
The same industry, right.
And AI is still fairly new. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of hiccups with it. Usually they say the safe thing is, so if a computer or technology replaces your job, you're supposed to get trained on how to fix that tool. That's how you kind of ensure your job security, because knowing that robot or technology is going to break, it's going to need maintenance.
Right.
So that's like, because it's AI, it's still computers. So hopefully those people that got laid off can transfer their skills into then being, like, I guess, AI technicians. So even though they're not the ones actually creating, I don't know, the foundation of a game, now they're responsible for the upkeep of the AI, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to get very, very interesting as we're moving forward. So and this is something that just need to be, emphasized on, because there's a lot of people out there that may not understand how, the industry works, how businesses work. This happens from time to time. Businesses are going to, again, make those tough decisions. They're going to, consolidate, see what's best for the company, right? And it's very, very tough when you have to let off good employees.
Yeah.
So I can understand from, Phil Spencer's position. It's tough. And he's mentioned that. He's like, hey, they have to make the tough decisions, and it's very hard. From Sony, same thing. You have to make the tough decisions.
It's even worse? Usually when you get these mass layoffs, it's someone in a suit and tie, corporate looking, but Phil Spencer looks like he still lives in his mom's basement. So isn't that the worst? Is like, how does someone like Phil, looking like he still lives in his mom's basement, be like, you know what, we're going to eliminate all these jobs? And people are like, man, you're supposed to be one of us. I can understand if it came from like a corporate guy, suit and tie, black suit, doesn't care about you. But Phil looks like the type of guy that you want to go have some beers with,
But and that's I think I likes that, because Phil plays video games.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know any other exec that plays video games. I don't delve into Nintendo like that to see if Bowser sitting there playing Mario or Smash Brothers or whatever. But Phil Spencer, he plays video games. When he comes on, he does his podcast. You can look in the background.
Yeah.
He has the consoles on the back shelf. He sits down and he plays with some of the actual developers. Especially like some of the indie titles. I don't know if there's a spot in this show. I don't think, not this showcase here, that's shown in the background, but yeah, and that's what I love about Phil. He's involved. He loves the industry, and he's expressed that over and over and over again. But I'm not going to give him too much praise, because from the outside looking in, we see things, right? And I'm like, okay, it's kind of tough when you could say, hey, I think they can do better in this department here, this department here. I was like, man, can I get hired? Can we get hired so we can sit at the round table and eat too?
Yeah.
And one of the big things, I'm not going to touch too much on that or go down a rabbit hole on that, but I want to do a 180 and go back, and it says back to Black Myth Wukong, and it says the final trailer stuns ahead of release, while it shoots up towards the top of the sales list on Steam and PS5. That's insane. So this goes back to for what you was talking about earlier.
So it's saying it's the number one sold, I guess, pre-order
game.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that's what it's talking about. Didn't read the,
now again, that I'm sure they had long talks in pricing this game for $60, or I'm sure they were going back and forth. Do we price it at 70, or do we go to 60? Now, if it's the number one pre-order game right now, is that a result of it being 60? Or did they leave money on the table? If they would have priced it at 70, would have they still be number one on a pre-order? And they may have potentially missed out on millions of dollars.
Well, I think based on what was already shown, the game looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right, the game looks phenomenal. The last trailers, the last trailer that they just showed,
Mm-hmm.
it looks phenomenal. Previous trailers, the game looks phenomenal. So, I don't think there was anything that was not shown that would deter gamers to say, "Hey, I'm not going to pick this up." So, it looks good. The gameplay looks good.
Well, do you want to touch about what we discussed with the difficulty?
Yeah, we can get on that.
Okay.
In just a second. And me personally, I would have went ahead with the $70 price tag. I don't think there would have been any difference from what it's currently showing right now.
I actually agree with that. I would have been a little greedy and price it at 70, even though I'll be like the new kid on the block. I'm not, first kind of say, hey, look, we've arrived. This is our debut flagship game. We're going to go in and price it at the new industry norm of $70. You will pay that price because our game is so damn good.
Right.
From what has been shown, I think just the hype alone, because I could understand if there wasn't as much footage as has there been shown. It's like maybe they only had a few minutes of gameplay trailer. Then people would be skeptical. They'd be like, yo, how come they're not showing that much? But they've shown so much footage, and every second of that footage looks gorgeous. So that alone shows their confidence that they know they probably have a AAA game on their hands. So I would have been like, you know what, this is a $70 game right here.
Now, mind you, I have not delved into to see if anyone received the game earlier. Early.
Like a critic, you mean?
Or yeah, like a critic, because
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like, maybe
Yeah,
some people
there's-
may have the game already
Right.
and they're playing it right now. Maybe they're up on an NDA and they can't say anything about it.
Probably, yeah.
So that'll probably be uplifted next week if there are some games out in the wild, and then we can actually get that feel of why they priced it at $60.
Mm-hmm.
But to each their own when it comes to anything, right? When it comes to video games, movies, etc., etc., everyone's gonna have their own, opinion. But taking a chance of pricing it at $70, there has to be something behind that, a reason why they priced it at 60. So someone like, wait a minute, let's take a step back and say, this is your first baby. This is your first baby, right?
It's conservative. It's a conservative play to make sure that, I think, to establish a new fan base. And I think maybe it was priced at the old school price, because games have been $60 for such a long time. It's fairly recent that games have shot up to $70. And we're talking about the standard edition. Obviously, we're not talking about the deluxe and ultimate games. Usually, those are like $100, $120. But for the standard base model, you get the whole game. You miss out on some collectibles or whatever from the higher tiers. But if you just want to play the game, the new norm is $70. That's for most games. Not games, though, that are like indie games or AA games, single A games, But if you're a AAA title, expect to pay $70. It looks like they have a AAA title, but I think just the one caveat is because they're new to the scene. Maybe it's just a calculated play to say, hey, look, even if we left money on the table by not charging $70, So going back to like the simple math example, like
Mm-hmm.
say they sell 1 million copies, that's $10 million. Well, maybe they see it like if they can attract a larger fan base by pricing it for 60, their next game they've already got that fan base now, and maybe the next game they start charging 70, and maybe they say, well, we can probably make much more money in the second game, but if we don't want to alienate that many people by saying that this is a $70 game right off the gate because we're the new kids on the block. I don't know. I mean, that goes on between their CFO, their accountants. They crunch the numbers. They figure out this is how to market the game. I mean, and again, it could be AI too. This game actually could have, even though this game has been in the works for so long, because I remember seeing trailers of this game years ago. I mean, this game is going on what, 3 years, 4 years? I remember during COVID, this was being shown.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like one of the first trailers, I was like, "Wow, this game looks beautiful." And AI actually has really made leaps and bounds since. It could have been they are utilizing AI to bring their costs down, and maybe that's just a bonus for them. They're like, "Hey, look, we don't have to charge $70. It didn't really cost that much money to make this game."
And I'm not sure if there's a physical version. I'm gonna have to research that. But
That's a good point.
I don't remember seeing or hearing about a physical version. So if there's anyone out there that's watching right now, if there was an announcement for a physical version, please let us know. So that is another thing as well. So and I think, I mean, there are still gamers out there who would love to have the physical version of the game, and that's okay. So, and just like I'm gonna digress here, but stay on topic with the physical version of it. Alan Wake 2, you heard about. Now they're coming out with a physical version of the game. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. And
I actually think that that's going to be not the norm, but I think more companies are going to do that just because everything's migrating towards streaming, like download. That physical media is going away. I think if the game is successful enough, then it's like, okay, now we'll drop the hard copy.
The hard copy. And
instead of doing it at tandem, like we're going to do the physical release plus the streaming download, maybe they're starting to see the trends of like, wow, not too many people are buying the hard copy. Most people are downloading it. But then I think if the game is successful enough, then they can say it may be worth the money. Because you think about it, that takes up inventory space. Now you have distribution. You have trucks delivering it to the stores, shipping it through the mail. There's a lot of cost savings without doing physical media. But if they're incentivized to do so, because you're always going to have that sub pool of gamers that's like, no, I want to have it for my collection. I like to have the physical disc. And then there's also parts of the world where they have limited internet access still. And
that's true.
Like people like Patriot Enigma. Where's he at? I'm sure he needs the physical copy because I know Starlink doesn't work.
Starlink. He may be on right now watching, and he's like, yo, up on top of the roof doing some tweaks. So we've seen the trailers some of the trailers of Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah.
And it has that Souls type feel to it. Do you think the difficulty is going to be there like an Elden Ring or Demon Souls, or do you think they're gonna?
I think it's gonna be a little bit more forgiving, not as hardcore. For the simple fact that I think to first attract players, you can't alienate the casual gamer, because the bulk of the gaming industry are casual gamers.
That makes sense, yeah.
You have more casual gamers than you do have hardcore gamers. And when I say hardcore, I mean gamers who actually have like skill in playing a game. Most people get very frustrated when a game is just too difficult. They don't want to put in the time or get better at a game where it's going to just take hours and hours and hours to get better. Most people want to play it for entertainment value.
Right.
They don't want to think too much, and they want to be entertained. They want to have some skill because they want to feel some accomplishment from beating a game. They don't want to make it so easy where it's like, that. All right, what am I?
Yeah, it doesn't pose a challenge.
Right, there's no challenge to it. But you don't want to. You got to find that delicate balance. And as we know, Demon Souls games, that's like the highest echelon of difficulty. Except for Final Fantasy Rebirth Platinum Trophy. That's a whole other category by itself. But anyway. So you don't want to alienate the casual gamer. So I think there's going to be a challenge, but I don't think it's going to reach the same level of difficulty as like an Elden Ring or Demon Souls. Although it looks like a similar format, with the super bosses and the way they're making it. I think, and I think that you're going to have to learn, just like how the Souls type games, you have to learn the boss's attack patterns. But I think it's going to be more forgiving on like the cannon fodder enemies, where unlike a Souls game where you can easily die from a regular foot soldier, you could be level 99 and still die from a level 1 foot soldier if you don't block and parry. You can't button mash. This is not a Devil May Cry type game.
Right.
You have to understand timing and blocking and parrying. But I think they're going to be more forgiving on the regular enemies, where it will probably be more of like a Smash type game where you can just like overpower the regular enemies. But I think for the bosses, you're going to have to learn their attack patterns. So I think that may be the balance, and that's where the challenge may come in. I don't think it's going to be as hardcore like a regular enemy. If a regular enemy kills you, you're going to be doing something seriously wrong. Unlike a Souls game where you can be powered up, but if you don't actually play correctly, you can still die from a regular enemy.
Right. And, man, it's still crazy because I was playing Elden Ring last night, and we was talking about that offline here. And I have 10 more trophies to get before I platinum this game. I'm gonna try my best to platinum this game. And just a regular, enemies just taking me out, man. It's like crazy. So, and that was one of the reasons why I asked that question, when it comes to Black Myth Wukong, and this is their first title. I don't think it's good for them to alienate, like you said, those
well, they
gamers.
can also do like, you can change the difficulty. I don't know if they're going to have it static or dynamic, or if they're going to have like an easy, normal, hard. They can go that route too. They can make it where it's just you just want to play the story and make it easy, make it normal, some challenge, or make it hardcore, and you can turn the option to make it a Souls type game. I don't know if that could be a possibility too.
And just to let you guys know, myself and the Thinker, we're staying away from everything Black Myth Wukong. Try to go into this game fresh.
Yeah.
I am going to be picking it. Well, I have already purchased the game digitally. Let me make sure I said digital copy of the game. Come on, Pat, speak. So I will be playing it next week. I think it says it comes out Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a very unusual. We're just saying
the 20th.
It's a very unusual release date. It's coming out the 20th of August, which is a Tuesday. So basically midnight on a Monday. Very unusual. It's they're doing things very unusually. $60 price point, a Monday midnight drop. That really messes up a lot of people's schedules because usually games come out Thursday midnight.
Right.
People take off Friday.
Right.
They make it into a 3-day weekend. They binge the game for 3 days.
Right.
Now it's like the start of the work week. You go into work Monday, and then that's when the game drops. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to mess up a lot. I don't see how you take a whole week off just to play a game. But hey.
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Now this game was supposed to drop for PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox same day, but it's now bypassing Xbox, and I think Game Science is still working on the game.
Yeah.
I guess they have to optimize the game. I'm just that's just my
So
assumption.
you think it's actually like platform compatibility issues?
That's my opinion. What I think it is, because you have the Xbox Series X and you have the Xbox Series S. Those the makeup of those two consoles are not the same. It's just like you have like the digital PlayStation 5 and the physical.
Yeah.
The only thing different is just the disc,
Right.
disc drive. So it's easy for them to make it happen on PlayStation, and so now they have to optimize the game for the Series X and the Series S if it's coming out on both of those consoles. So there's a lot of gamers that won't be able to play it, day one when it comes out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the cause of that is because this game has been in development for so long.
Now, again, guys, I don't know what the cause of it. That's just my opinion. That maybe there's some optimization issues,
Yeah.
that they're having. I don't know.
Or it could be contractual too. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes with releasing a game on multiple platforms the same day. There could be some contract disputes in that area. I mean, this is a Chinese company. Microsoft is an American company. Sometimes they don't play along well. I don't know. I mean, it's all speculation.
Right. All right, guys. So we're gonna move along. So that was Black Myth Wukong. We are excited for that game. It's releasing in a couple of weeks,
Yep.
I think, on a Tuesday, the 20th. So we will be playing that game live right here on the channel. So I may have to take some time off.
Make sure you get your
Take it-
LDR code right.
Get the LDR. To get ahead of the game. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on, man. So this Astrobot controller.
Oh man, probably the greatest controller ever designed.
I'm sorry, guys, but this controller looks good. I think PlayStation did a wonderful job, getting with Team Asobi and making this happen. This controller.
And I'm going to
looks
say
amazing.
Astrobot needs to become their official mascot.
I think this is what's gonna happen.
I
It's good. It's gonna be their Mario.
I think so. I can see Astrobot being their Mario as for Nintendo. It just everything about it looks phenomenal. And I think it's the best packaged game when the PS5 came out. Like as we know, when a new console drops, they usually incorporate starting game, as you will, to showcase the new console's capability. But usually it's usually lackluster. It's nothing. It's never something to be impressed by. When what was it, Astro World? Is that the new game? I forgot. What's the old original? Astro Room. Astro Room. Astro Room was the game that came with the PS5.
Mhm.
Now, I wasn't expecting much. Oh, free game. Comes with the PS5. And when I played it, I was like, wow, this is probably the greatest packaged game I've ever played. It's like very kid friendly, but as an old school gamer, to see the history of the PlayStation, I thought the design of Astrobot was phenomenal. And now I think when they see the success of it, now they're making a full flagship game
Right.
coming out soon with probably the greatest controller design ever. I mean, I can see this becoming their mascot. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game of people of all ages. I think grown-ups could play it. They can enjoy it. Your kids could play it. They could enjoy it. So I'm definitely looking forward to that game.
Now pre-orders went live on August.
Yeah, I just
9th.
found out I can't get the controller anymore. Very disappointed.
But there may be another opportunity to get the controller. I don't think some retailers may have completely sold out
Yeah.
of the controller because you still have in the rumor airways that the PlayStation 5 Pro is to be dropping this year. It's just a rumor. So what's to say they may package? Maybe they may do a bundle.
Yeah, that would be a great idea.
It would be nice to do, Astro.
That would be a great idea. Actually, as a matter of fact, if they do a PS5 and then limited edition, also the skin of the console
Yes.
is Astrobot with the Astrobot controller, packaged with the game, the whole Astrobot Platinum package, whatever
Yes.
you want to call it. That'll be the addition to get.
Now, Sony, if you're listening, this is an opportunity for you to sell consoles.
That-
Sell more
that-
consoles right
that will
here.
sell.
That
That
will
will
sell
definitely
like
sell.
it will sell like crazy because it's just like you mentioned. It's kid friendly. It's an everybody's type game. Well, it depends on
And by itself, it's going to be the PS5 Pro. That they can just package that in a plain cardboard box and people are still going to buy it.
Exactly.
But to make it look pretty, if you now go full force with this Astrobot and do a skin for the console, because I still think I think the Spider-Man skin is one of the better ones for the PS5. But if they go all out and make Astrobot kind of like centered,
Like theme plates.
for the theme, right? The whole theme of it, I think that'll be brilliant.
Yeah, and there's some other games that that are coming out, and when the PlayStation 5 was launched, Sony was not big on the actual theme plates, etc. etc. Then
Yep, I
Xbox
remember.
kind of took the ham on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was missed opportunities for Sony to sell more consoles to reach their number that they projected. But this is an opportunity now for them, if they are going to launch the PlayStation 5 Pro, to do a bundle like that.
Mm-hmm.
GTA 6 is still scheduled to drop in 2025. I think that was confirmed. To do a GTA 6 bundle, that would be insane.
Yeah.
For both consoles, to be honest with you.
Well, that's one of the biggest games of all time. That whole franchise.
Yeah. But we're talking about Astrobot, so that controller sold out in minutes. If you're looking for an Astrobot controller, you probably can wait until the game. I think the game drops September 6th.
Oh, right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
I'll still be working on. Well, right now I'm working on Stellar Blade. I gotta beat that before Wukong drops. And once Wukong drops, I think that's gonna be a pretty long game. I may actually go against my rule of focusing on one game at a time and take a break and just play some Astrobot when that game comes out, even though I'll probably be working on Wukong. Just because they're obviously like so different type of games. It'll be one thing where usually I have a rule where if I'm playing like a fully immersive single player game, I only focus on that game. I don't play multiple single player games at once. I like to just focus on one, beat it, and then move on to something else. But because Astrobot and Wukong are completely different type of games, I probably do both at the same time.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna be. I have a backlog of games that I have to.
You gotta get on Stellar Blade, man. I've been telling you.
He's been bugging me about Stellar Blade, so I'm gonna get Stellar Blade. I'm gonna play it. I did play the demo. I enjoyed the demo, and I'll definitely get it in. But I still have to play the Banishers. I haven't even.
That game's good too.
I haven't played that game yet.
I beat that game. That game is actually really good. That one was a sleeper game just because of the fact that it came out right around the time Final Fantasy Rebirth came out.
Okay.
So while everyone was hyped up for Rebirth, and they were like, "Oh man, once this game comes out, that's it. I'm not playing anything else." I think Banishers came out like the week before, or something, and people like just didn't give it too much attention because they were so hyped up, waiting for Final Fantasy to drop.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "Oh," and it's really one of those games that flew under the radar. It's a mix of, man, it's a mix of Dante's Inferno, if you can believe it, It has Dante's Inferno, and I know all of the true hardcore gamers have been wanting either like a reboot of Dante's Inferno, a sequel, something. But man, if they could make a Dante's Inferno with next gen, the technology of the next gen, because I thought that game was phenomenal when that dropped. What was that, PS3?
Dante's Inferno was PS3.
That was PS. That was the fat, right? Yeah, that was when that came out for PS3. Thought that was a brilliant game. So they skipped they skipped the whole generation. They skipped PS4. They didn't even make another one for PS4, and now we're really deep into PS5. Still nothing on it, and I thought that was one of the best type of single player action games ever. And just the story alone, going into hell and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the actual the poem of I forgot what it was called, but the guy goes through the 9 phases of hell, the 9 rings of hell. I mean, it was really so well done. But anyway, this game Banishers has some elements to that game. It has some elements to Last of Us, and it has some elements to God of War. So taking those 3 games together and putting that's really what Banishers is. It's really well done. It's a little glitchy, I will say. It's not as polished as I would have liked. It's definitely very playable. But the game itself, I think, if you have nothing else going on, pick up that game. You won't be disappointed.
Cool. Well, I do have it.
You have it downloaded already?
Yeah.
It's in the queue.
It's in the queue, and I have to say that my wife has been getting on me for quite some time now. She's like, "You got all these games, and you have not played these games."
Wait, you mean to tell me your wife is actually supporting you to play the games?
My wife is supporting me to play video games, dude.
There you go.
It's mind-boggling. I never expected it. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Pick up the controller. Sometimes my wife would even go get the controller for me.
Wow.
And say, "Here, you can play."
But the real question is, does she feed you grapes?
See, I'm not like this guy. I don't gotta like this guy where I can just kick back and then the missus feed me grapes while I'm playing video games. That was cringe.
Pause.
Yep. Hey, I don't know. I may get banned. You two are gonna kick us off, man.
Oh man.
But yeah, so right now I'm trying to platinum the Elden Ring. I only have 10 trophies left.
You can do it.
It's driving me nuts.
I had faith in you for platinuming Remake, which you did. Congratulations on that.
Yes, I am part of the percentage that platinum Remake. Thanks to this guy right here, the push. Told me not to give up. Kept sending me memes. Don't give up. Don't give up, man.
The hardest challenge was the Behemoth Ifrit fight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And man, when I actually got to that fight,
how many times did it take you?
Oh man, it took me at least 100 times,
wow.
man.
That's dedication.
Look, I lost count.
That's dedication.
Because this took place after we got back from Japan. I stayed because I was trying to reacclimate. I guess that's the word with the time frame. Yeah. And I would stay up all freaking day and night.
Wow. Playing
Final Fantasy remake, just to platinum that game. My wife was like, "Dude, when are you gonna go to bed, man?" I was like, "Look, I'm not gonna stop until I beat this game." Now there was one point I was gonna give up, and I think I shared with you.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, I'm done.
Yeah.
I am not gonna platinum this game, man. I'm done." And I seriously put the controller down. I was like, "I can't do this," because every time I got to I would get to Leviathan, and then that's where it would stop. I'm like, "Oh my goodness," because I only got to Bahamut once.
Yep.
And then I just kept, dying at Leviathan. I'm like, man, this is driving me nuts. I can't do this. But that's not the type of person that I am to give up, because I don't like having giving up in my vocabulary. So there's some things you just have to just let go, right? But this guy kept me on my toes. He was like, "Don't give up." I was like, "You know what? I'm going to pick up the controller." So long story short, I got to the Bahamut and
Ifrit?
Yeah, Ifrit fight.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to pull it off. I was standing up in front of the TV.
Now, what was your reaction when you played the boss that comes after them, thinking that was going to be harder? Because if you're usually it's supposed to be progression of difficulty, right?
Right.
Thinking like, oh my god, this is the prototype weapon.
So
For me, I found it like a cakewalk.
yeah, and it was.
Well, I did. Did you use my advice?
I used your advice. I used your strategy, and I was like, well, actually, I used your strategy pretty much on all of them, to be honest. And I was like, okay, all right, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Just follow his plan and see if it works. So I get to the final boss. What was it?
It's like the
what's it
prototype
called?
weapon.
Prototype weapon,
Yeah.
whatever. It was freaking easy.
Yeah.
So you go through all these
Right.
I'm like, oh my goodness, I went through all this just to freaking beat him just that easy?
Yep.
Man, get out of here. And then when I seen that trophy popped across the screen, I sent him a message. I was like, dude, it's done.
Well, I sent him my platinum for Rebirth, pointing at it because that will give you nightmares.
No.
If anyone rewatches this video and they come to this segment of the pod, I'm telling you right now, have a therapy fund on standby, fully funded, because you are going to need counseling if you ever attempt to platinum Final Fantasy Rebirth.
I'm not even going to try it.
That platinum trophy is probably one of the hardest platinum trophies of all time for any single game. It is so frustrating. It really actually knocks off points for the overall score of the game, which I thought the game was brilliant. Getting the platinum trophy shouldn't be that hard. It definitely should be a challenge because that should be the hardest challenge for any game, is getting the platinum. But they made that so almost impossible. It really discourages you from wanting anything to do with the game. But I'll just leave it like that.
I'm not even going to try.
If you want to attempt it, have Dr. Phil on speed dial, because you're going to need counseling after that.
I'm not even going to try with everything that I went through with freaking Remake. I'm done. I'm not even going to pick it up. And I'm just going to leave it alone. If I do decide to platinum the game, I'll do exactly. I'll take his advice. Make sure that, I have somebody I can talk to.
Oh yeah, you need a team. You need a team of support. You got, you may be put on. I can't say the word on YouTube on a live watch. You're gonna have a hefty supply of alcohol. I mean something to get by. I'll never attempt that again. I'm looking forward to part 3. I've obviously platinumed Remake, Rebirth. I think it would be an injustice to not get all 3. I am going to attempt it. I am not looking forward to it because I'm assuming it's even going to be harder than this one, which I can't even fathom. I can see Square Enix taking Chadley and making him the final boss with all the powers of Knights of the Round. And just when you beat him, he revives himself with the Excalibur sword,
No.
and Odin slashes you into oblivion.
and that's just it. Odin is too OP, man.
Oh,
If you don't,
dude, don't even get me started.
if I didn't listen to you, man, because I like to challenge. Okay, when it comes to games like this, I love the challenge. I try my best to stay away from YouTube, seeing what other people
Right.
are doing, etc., etc. But sometimes you just have to throw in the towel, right? So I reached out to the thinker. I was like, man, I can't beat this. I can't beat Odin, man. So I didn't even bother going on YouTube at all. I just reached out to him. I was like, how do you do it? How do you beat this boss? So he gave me a few pointers, etc., etc. So I just went with his advice, and it worked. And I was like, that's all I had. I was so upset because I was like, man. So
and I will preface this by saying I don't look at YouTube strategies either. I do a lot of trial and error. Yeah, could I have saved myself heartache by going online and seeing what the optimal strategy is? Probably. I don't know. I just get greater satisfaction in trying to do it myself.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think the thing is too is if you actually sit down and analyze what's working and what's not working for a game like Final Fantasy, where there's so many different ways to beat an enemy because of the whole materia system is so complex. There's so much materia that you can definitely customize it. You can go in and start tweaking things and say, all right, this doesn't work. What's this enemy's strength? What's their weakness? How can I counter it? If you actually take time, you don't need to go online and see what other people are doing. You can figure it out. It just takes time and practice. And that's what I think the most rewarding part of it is, when you can beat something where you're like, oh, this worked. I figured it out myself. And then if you just happen to see, like if you come across a YouTube video and you're like, oh, I already beat the game, so I don't care about if they're going to expose anything. And you're like, oh, that strategy that's supposed to be the best is actually similar to the thing I used. But I didn't have to look at this. I figured it out myself, and it just so happened that it worked.
Now, I wish I could say the same thing about games like, the Elden Ring. Yes, I went online many times to figure out how to beat some of these balls, just some of the balls, especially the big.
Is that because the game
bosses.
is so Is that because the game is so massive?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
That's what I figured.
And I don't know if you played the game at all. I think you would enjoy the game. However, that's
easily a 200+ hour game, though, right?
Yes, I think I'm over 100 hours in now. Maybe like 115 hours.
Rebirth, to platinum that game, that took me 163 hours. And I would say the last 63 hours was attempting the last challenges. That's probably so half the game is to get the regular stuff to beat the game, and then the other half of the game is to do only a handful of challenges that are literally going to drive you crazy. That's what it is.
All right, man. So we're gonna move on, and so we should be hearing about Xbox or some information on Xbox's new console, successor to the Xbox Series. I don't understand why it's a successor to the Xbox Series X if the Series S is their main console. If that's true,
the way the timeline is going, you think the PS5 Pro is definitely going to come out before Xbox's next console?
Sony's been very quiet, man.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about the PS5 Pro.
So, as right now, it's just rumor mill, and
because historically speaking, Sony is usually the first one, right? Or is it Xbox?
I think for the last.
As far as like the generations.
Because Xbox came out first, or they made the announcement first. I don't even remember. I don't really keep up with that. But what I do know is that Sony usually drops in November with their consoles.
Yeah, usually holiday season, right?
Because the PlayStation 4 dropped in November. PlayStation 5 dropped in November.
Even the PS4 Pro, I think, came out during holiday season, did it not?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. So, if PlayStation was to have a showcase in September, then that would be the time to, make that announcement.
It has to be, because you're already going in like the end of fall, September. You got to get at least a month in, because really the target is Black Friday. That's really the target for marketing. You have to work back at least a month or two to build the hype. and for the retailers to establish their advertising and their sales pre-orders to say, boom, PS5 Pro dropping Black Friday or whatever. They're definitely going to want to advertise that at least a month in advance, 2 months in advance. So you are looking at a September timeframe. That would be the latest.
Yeah, because so we right now we're almost mid-August.
Yeah.
So they had the rest of August, and then
I'm telling you what, if they are, they're really keeping that under wraps.
big time.
Because I have not heard anything about it.
Nothing from Sony, just quiet. So if they happen to announce that doing a showcase or a state of play, whatever they decide to do, then I do believe that it will drop this year. I don't think Microsoft is ready to drop the next console. I think
by this year, no way.
Yeah, no way. I think what they're going to do is they're going to announce it. Per Sarah Bond, she did mention that there will be more information on the next console coming out this holiday season.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's going to be anything dropping. If there's anything dropping, any hardware from Xbox, then that'll be a shocker as well. I'm like, whoa, we didn't expect that. So Sony, what are you going to do? Are you going to drop the PlayStation 5 Pro, or what's happening? What's going on? But that's currently right now. It's just in the rumor mill. But Microsoft, apparently, I read some news that there's going to be a successor to the Series X, and there's going to be a handheld console as well. So pretty much, I'm looking at it like the Switch. I'm like, it seems like they're going the Switch route. So it seems like you could take this handheld on the go with you, play your games, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So I find that very interesting. So.
Well, I think before the stream started, we were talking about now would be the time for Nintendo to contemplate going to next gen. They have the resources. They can build a console to have next gen type of graphical games. As we know, usually their bread and butter is family friendly games. They're not really big on like the next gen top of the line graphics, hardcore type games, right?
Right.
But I'm sure everyone has seen the fan-made Mario game where it looked absolutely phenomenal. I mean, if they were to go the route of making a game where the graphics were on par with the PS5 and Xbox, but still have the Nintendo playability.
Can we show that? You want to show it?
Yeah, let's show it.
Let's see if they still have that up there.
Oh, they got it. That was one of the best fan-made videos I've ever seen.
I'm pretty sure they got a lot up here. Is that it right here? Is that it?
Is that it? Unreal. Yeah, this is it.
Now that looks amazing.
Nintendo can do this overnight if they wanted to. They got the resources. This is using Unreal. This is showcasing Unreal 5. That's what this is doing. This is showcasing the Unreal 5 engine. But look at this game. This is fan-made. This is absolutely beautiful. Oh my God.
Yeah, I would definitely.
This would, I think, bring in a lot of even the fanboys. If you grew up in the 80s like we did, playing Nintendo, this is a must buy if they were to make a game like this. This is a game where you can literally just buy the console just to play this one game. I mean, this is fan-made. This is not even official. This just goes to show you if a regular fan can do this that has some kind of background in computer science or whatever, Imagine the actual official wheelhouse of Nintendo, the entire full resources powerhouse of Nintendo, polishing, making a game like that, saying, okay, thank you, fan, for giving us the idea. Now let me show you how it's done.
You know, what's interesting is that I'm surprised that these fan-made videos are still up.
Knowing
that Nintendo
Nintendo's notorious
is very
for the lawsuits. Oh yeah, they are notorious for lawsuits.
I mean, you don't play with their intellectual property.
Yeah.
No.
And you know what though? It's probably so good that they were like, "Hey, let's keep it up. Maybe they're creating a buzz."
Yeah. Let's hire this guy.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Insane. But that's pretty good though.
Oh yeah. Well, that one, over 500,000 views on this, and that guy. Now I don't know if he's the originator, whatever that channel is, but from what I saw, he didn't even have that many subscribers. But over 500,000 views. Clearly, there's an interest in making a Mario game that looks like that.
That would be insane. All right, Bowser, if you're watching,
that's right.
Take note. Bazir, Bowser, potato, whatever you want to call yourself. Take note. All right, what else can we talk about, man?
Well, it doesn't have to be gaming. This is your channel, gaming and reactions.
Yeah, gaming. Yeah, it is gaming and reaction. So, so I do have some games. Well, a lot more games in my wish list. I'm not sure if you saw The Quiet Place. I don't know if you watch horror movies.
I did see. I did see that. That looks interesting.
And so they're coming out with a video game. It's $30. It's priced at $30. So,
this is supposed to be the prequel, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. Me and the wife went to go see it, and
because I mean the one that the first one that came out, I thought that was good. That was really good.
That was good.
But the second part wasn't good. And then this was the sequel, right? They make 3 movies, right?
Yeah, 3. So
the second one wasn't that good.
I enjoyed both.
Not as good as the first one, though, right? You thought they were equal?
No. I don't think they were equal.
Okay.
What I'm saying is I enjoyed both. And then they made a prequel into how everything happened.
Yeah, right.
With this one, I'm like, it's all right. I mean,
if you were,
would I recommend you to go see it in theaters? No, I would say that. I would say just wait until it comes out.
Streaming.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Because to each their own. I recommend somebody to go see it. Now, one movie, that I recommend everyone go see, or we recommend everyone to go see. I don't care if you're a fan or not.
Deadpool and Wolverine, man.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Disney finally woke up.
Woke up
after 4 years. Exactly. Ding. That's a play on words. Woke up. If you know what that means, all right. And they said, you know what? Let's give the fans what they want. Let's bring it back to the roots. Let's, they got the R rating. Let's make it entertaining. I mean, that is probably one of the best superhero movies, in my opinion. And this is taking into account the Infinity Saga. Them building up with Iron Man, Captain America. Phase 1. I thought Phase 1 were very well done. This is in that argument. Just as a standalone movie, probably one of the greatest superhero movies ever made.
Now, will this save the Marvel Universe? No, it won't.
I don't think it will.
However, they did a fantastic job. Ryan Reynolds.
I think they did a great job at segueing into their next phase by trying to tie the multiverse. What's that one called? It was introduced in the Loki seasons. The Time Variance Authority, Time Variant TVA, right?
Well, I haven't watched the Loki series.
Okay, so that in the movie how the TVA was incorporated.
Right.
That actually was introduced in the Loki seasons. That's where Loki from the Thor. He I don't know if you guys remember, but in the first Avengers movie, there was a Loki that got transported. That's actually that Loki that goes into kind of his own universe.
His own universe, right.
Anyway, without discussing so many spoilers, things started getting very muddled. Like the way it was going with what was it, the Eternals? They had
the Eternals was.
There was
I didn't really enjoy that one.
The 10 Rings?
What's his name? Wow, I have a name, but the movie on the tip of my tongue, but I can't get it out.
Something, the 10 Rings, the Asian actor.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, the Marvels, the all-woman and then people are like, you know what? That's how you get companies to change if they're not making money.
Right.
Box office sales were in the toilet. They were like, what are we doing wrong? A lot of it is just the woke nonsense. And then they're like, hey, look, we got to give the people what they want. This is not working. And you know what? This is the movie. I was going to say, how are they going to bring the mutants and the superhero, Marvel has always had the mutant side, the X-Men mutant verse.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the mythical side with, the Avengers and Thor. Then they have that side. How are they going to bring the mutant world and the superhero world together? And Deadpool Wolverine, I think, sets the foundation for that.
I can see that.
Especially trying to fit in with the multiverse. It was really getting really convoluted. Although I did like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. But all the other movies in the last 4 years have been, I think, garbage. Absolute garbage. But this movie, I think if Disney sticks to this formula, I think they'll find much success.
Yeah, they have a unless they changed it. They have a good slate of movies. They have a couple of Avengers movies that is going to be coming out.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Blade movie that's coming out now.
Yeah, because Wesley Snipes still owes them back taxes, so he has to start working again. The IRS has not forgotten about Wesley.
Man, I hate to spoil. Man, Deadpool and Wolverine has been out for quite some time. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
I think it's fair to say the people that watch your channel have seen the movie.
Man, from start to finish, hilarious. I was shocked when I was looking at some of the audience reviews. I don't care too much about the critics reviews. There was a few that was like, man, this movie was garbage. I'm like, okay, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. It's fine. It's great. If you feel that it was garbage all the way through, fine.
Well, there are people that they like to be contrarians just for the sake of being contrarians. It's like, I sincerely believe, put it this way, you can take something like pizza. Pizza is a universally loved food. I have not met one person on the face of this earth that does not like pizza. You literally can put anything on pizza to make it something that you like. Okay, you don't like vegetables? Then don't put vegetables. You're a meat lover, just put meat. You're a vegan? You can make a vegan pizza. You don't like cheese? You can make a pizza with just the dough and sauce and put the top, whatever you want. You like fruit? They got a Hawaiian pizza. Whatever you want, you can put on a pizza. But then there'll always be that one person, I don't like pizza. Pizza's disgusting. Deep down, I don't think you believe that. I think you just like to go against what everyone else likes just so you could kind of bring attention to yourself. So if you see these people giving these bad reviews for a movie this good, and again, I understand that movies are subjective, but there's just no way you can say this movie was bad. I can understand there's some criticism where you can say this is a good movie, but I didn't like this one thing, or I didn't like these two things. That is expected. But when you have these reviews that's like, this movie's trash, this movie's garbage, no, I don't believe you. Either you're lying, you're doing it for attention. Again, there's the one person that says pizza sucks. No, it doesn't. You don't believe that.
I mean, and that's when you have to ask the question and say, okay, what about pizza that you don't like?
Yeah.
I mean, what about pizza
Right.
that sucks? Or what about this movie that sucked? I mean, if you're gonna sit there with a straight face and tell me the entire movie, that's not giving me anything.
Right. Exactly.
I'm like, why? Give me a reason
Yeah,
why.
the one-liner, this movie's garbage, with no explanation.
And the same thing for video
Yeah.
games.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah,
sometimes before
okay.
the game even come out, you're like, this game is trash. I'm like, guys.
I've read reviews for God of War, the remake.
Mhm.
That won numerous accolades. You go on any review site, 9.5. It's one of the highest rated games of all time. Not the Ragnarok, the one that came before.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still reviews. You can sort it to 1-star reviews. This game is garbage! Exclamation point times infinity. With no explanation. Oh, I'm sorry. So you mean to tell me one of the highest rated games of all time, and you want to come in with your one-liner saying this game is trash? With no analysis, no break. You're just being a contrarian just for the sake of being a contrarian. I don't believe you think that. I think that you actually do it just to be the yellow tulip in a field of red tulips. Easy to spot and say, oh, look, that's the tulip I see. I don't know, maybe they just want attention.
And, and some of you already know, I try my best to not even entertain it, especially when, you have individuals come out and say certain things that has no merit, that warrants no entertainment at all, especially when it comes to video games or anything, for that matter. Like, when you do that one-liner, I'm like, okay, if I jump into this right here, I'm not going to get anywhere with it.
They want you to. You're going to waste your time.
Exactly.
If you respond to those people, you're going to waste your time.
So that's why I don't entertain it. And I have been asked, like, hey, gaming, what do you think about what they're saying about this? No, I'm not even going to respond to it. Because it doesn't benefit me at the end of the day. And it doesn't really benefit them. I mean, does it make them sleep better at night? Because people are going to continue to respond to it. And people are going to have their opinions. So it's like that person has to answer every freaking response that's against him or her. I'm like, dude, you set yourself up for this. This makes no sense. So that's why I don't get into the fanboy nonsense. You like what you like. If you like PlayStation, you like PlayStation. If you like Xbox, you like Xbox. I think both consoles are...
Well, I will say it. If you are one of the few that don't like pizza, I don't like you. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't believe you, first of all. But if you don't like pizza, I don't like you as a person.
All right.
I'm not Switzerland. I am not neutral in my opinions. I choose a side. And if you're not on the pizza-loving side, you are on the dark side.
There you have it. So you have Silent Hill 2 remake. Come on.
I am not impressed. I saw the trailer.
The gameplay.
It's bad. I'm just going to say it's bad. Not in a good way. Not like MJ was a bad player. This is bad, like the Oxford Dictionary definition of bad.
So now they're gonna crucify you. They're gonna come out and go, wait a minute, didn't you just say? How you gonna respond to
Silent Hill 2 is not pizza.
it?
This
You
is not
can't-
pizza quality.
You can't screw up this game.
This is
cannot
one of
do
the
it.
classic horror games of all time. How are you making it look this bad? You have next gen consoles. What are you doing?
Now, I will be picking up Silent Hill 2.
That's because you're Switzerland.
I'm gonna stay Switzerland for the time being. I'm gonna play it, and because I'm a Silent Hill fan.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
And now, was I skeptical about the gameplay that they showed, the trailer that they showed? Yes.
Don't lie.
No, I'm like, I can't lie because I said it on one of my streams, and I'm like, look, this does not look.
They got a lot of work to do.
Oh my goodness,
They got a lot of work to do.
I just don't think they're going to be successful with this game. I don't think so. I'd be shocked that it does come out and it does do well. I'm hoping that it does do well, but I don't think it's going to get over that hump where it's gonna wow people. It's
You know
not-
what it is?
I don't
It's
think so.
not even to the point where it's a matter of like, you know how they like, for example, Wukong. Like the earliest trailers of Wukong was like, wow, this game looks good, but clearly it needs some polishing. And then there's the discussion, the whole framework needs to be redone from top to bottom. I can't see that trailer and give it the argument of, oh, this game looks like it just needs to be polished. It's like 80% there. They just need to work on the last 20%. I look at that trailer, I'm like, dude, you got to redo the whole thing. There's nothing to polish. Like, you can't polish a turd. It's still a turd. It's like you gotta disinfect, start over. You gotta build it all the way from the ground up, because it is. I'm not impressed at all. Very disappointed. I was looking forward for that coming out, because I remember playing it, the original Silent Hills. That's one of my favorite horror games of all time. I don't like to see reboots done. Like, that's why I love Dead Space. Dead Space is one of my favorite games of all time. The reboot of Dead Space that came out last year, I was like, yes, this is what I wanted. So well done. You can't take a classic horror game like Silent Hill and not give it the justice it deserves.
And
This literally looks like it belongs on the PS3.
And in the Thinker's defense, it's just that it's a classic title. It's a classic title. I love Silent Hill 2, and this is not like some brand new IP.
Exactly. I'll give them a pass if it was brand new.
Okay, so this is a classic title, and this is what you show. This is going to, people are gonna, that love Silent Hill are gonna, they're gonna.
You're gonna alienate these people.
They're like, what is going on here? This is not what I expected, because think about it. Once you hear anything about a remake, just like Dead Space, when they showed Dead Space, I was like, oh my, dude, it was spot on.
Crisp.
It was crisp. It was spot on. It was like, wow, they really going to do this, and it looks amazing. It's a classic game. And then when you come with a classic game like Silent Hill 2 and it looks...
The best way, okay, when you're doing a reboot, they'll show the before and after, right? When the game originally came out, and then the new version. So taking, for example, something like Dead Space. You see the old one on, was it like PS2 or whatever, and then you saw the new one for PS5. Night and day. The level of detail, night and day. If you take this Silent Hill 2 and you do a before and after with the original game, you're like, is it the same game? What am I looking at here? If it doesn't pop, if you don't see that comparison pop, you're going in the wrong direction.
So I'm hoping Silent Hill 2 does well. I mean, they still have time. It doesn't come out till I think in October of this year. So
No, I don't think that's enough time.
I don't think it's enough time to polish it up or to where. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, you can see the differences between the original and this one here. It's just the mechanics. You know, as you watch the gameplay,
It's clunky.
it doesn't.
It's very clunky.
It doesn't sit well, so it's going to be. It's almost like a PlayStation 3
Yeah.
type of. You know, like we've seen this before. Like
Oh, yeah.
there's nothing. There's no wow factor. There's nothing there. To jump out of your seat and be like, oh man, I cannot wait until Silent Hill 2 remake come out. Now, Metal Gear Solid. Now you can't say anything about Metal Gear. Now when Metal Gear Solid comes out, you can see the difference.
Night and day.
It's
Gorgeous.
night and day.
Gorgeous.
It's night and day. I mean, I did not even know it was coming out for Xbox, but I'm glad it's coming out for Xbox as well, so the Xbox gamers can get it.
You
I
will
was
not
like-
be disappointed, Xbox fans. That game, if you've never had the luxury of playing the Metal Gear Solid series, when this remake comes out, this is an automatic purchase. You will not be disappointed.
I'm definitely going to be picking that up. Betcha.
That's a midnight. That's calling out sick. That's sending your kids to foster care type of game. That's back child support. Where's daddy? I don't know. That's that type of game.
Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm not sure.
I'm actually looking forward to this game. I fell off as an Assassin's Creed fan since
Black Flag was my last.
since Odyssey. I thought Odyssey was good, but I got fatigued playing it. I never beat it. I got halfway. I got fatigued. It was because the thing is like, I don't know. There was not any new elements to keep my interest. Valhalla. Did I play? Yeah, I played Valhalla actually. No, I'm sorry. Valhalla was the last one I played, and I think I actually beat it. I never bothered platinuming it or anything like that. Yes, Valhalla was the last one I did play, but the last, I would say, how many came out after Valhalla? Two, three? Because they usually come out with one every year.
Okay, so Black Flag, Odyssey, Valhalla.
Well, Black Flag is the best one of all time.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I don't know. I don't think anything came out after Valhalla, did it? Can anybody let us know?
No, the one last year, it didn't do well at all. The one that came out last year. Well, it wasn't priced at $70. It was only like $50. It came out last October, and it was a full one. It wasn't one of those like mini ones.
Assassin's Creed. Let's see.
I am looking forward to this new one though.
No. Assassin's Creed.
Mirage.
Mirage.
Yeah, Mirage. That didn't do well at all. I didn't even bother playing that game.
Okay, so you had Syndicate.
I didn't play
Mirage.
Yeah, I didn't play Syndicate.
But I will be picking up.
It does look good. I do like the contrast between, which is kind of funny. They have a black samurai, but anyway, that's another conversation for another day.
All right, so real quick, okay? I did ask my father-in-law in regard to Yasuke, the Black Samurai. Okay, and he pretty much knew about him. I did not. I was shocked and amazed. He was like, okay, Yasuke, yeah. He was like, he was a retainer. He was up under Nobunaga. He also showed me the land that Nobunaga, when we would do our little history tour.
Mm-hmm.
The land that Nobunaga started to take over. That was very, very nice. And he was like, he was a retainer. And he was training him to be a samurai. But he doesn't believe. This is my father-in-law. He doesn't believe that he was a full-on samurai.
Okay.
But he did.
Do you think they're trying to do what Hollywood did with Tom Cruise from The Last Samurai, do like a whitewashing? Where I don't see how when that movie came out, I was like, how is this culturally appropriate?
Exactly.
So even though if there's some truth to having the Black Samurai, you think they're like taking it a little too far with making him like a fully fledged persona of a samurai.
Right, I can see why some people can be upset about that, especially the Japanese.
Right.
They can say, "Hey, wait a minute, this is
historically inaccurate."
Inaccurate,
Yeah.
right? This does not align with our culture.
Right.
But it's just a matter of doing your research. You know, there's a lot of information out there on Yasuke. And it's there. So I don't know. I'm ignorant to if he was a full blown samurai or if he was not. There's nothing that I can do or say. But again, I'm gonna pick up the game. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah,
it looks very interesting.
It does look pretty good. It looks a little bit more polished than the last few Assassin's Creeds.
Yes.
So I will be definitely picking it up.
So we're gonna, whatever you guys feel like, if you, whatever your take is on it, is whatever your take is on it. Just go do your research. Don't come to me. I mean, I have no clue. I'm just going off what I asked. My wife's lineage stems from Shogun and Samurai, which we found out.
Really?
Yes. So we're not part of Yakuza. I mean, they're not part of the Yakuza. I shouldn't say that over there. But yes, their name traces back.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Back. So I have some photos and stuff, and it was very, very, very interesting. I was like, wow. So my father-in-law broke it down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was just knowledgeable about it, so I'm just gonna take it as face value. He knows what he's talking about. So I was like, this is very interesting.
Wow.
And but I'm still alive. I don't upset my wife in any way. She's right every time, 100% of the time. I can't give any wiggle room, any room at all. If you're asking, yes, she's Japanese. So I got to be very, very careful when I do things with the missus. All right, let's move on. I don't know if you're a Star Wars fan.
Outlaws?
Outlaws is coming out
Yeah.
this month, I think.
I just read something that their fans are already saying that this disappointed that you can't. It's not like a GTA setup where you can, I guess, rob like NPCs. They're very limiting to like who you can actually attack. So for a game being like this open, to take that element away where you can't just like, at GTA you can just go up to anyone and just take whatever you want. They're going to severely limit the interactions with the NPCs, which I read just yesterday that a lot of fans were kind of turned off by that fact. So we'll see how it sells.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait on that one. That game is on the list, but
Speaking of Metal Gear.
Yep. Speaking of Metal Gear, there it is. Look at this.
This is like Picasso couldn't have done a better job with this.
Oh my goodness, Nintendo. PlayStation. Oh my. Metal Gear Solid 2. Oh my goodness, one of my favorites. 3. Snake Eater. I didn't care too much for 4.
This
It was okay, but I didn't care too much.
Would
for
you
it.
say this is the gold standard for stealth games?
Yes. Well. There are some good stealth games out there, like Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Now, Splinter Cell, I enjoyed Splinter Cell, but to each their own. But yes, I think this would be the gold standard. Yes, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Because this is where it started.
This
To
is
me,
it. This is it.
this is it right here. Oh my goodness, man, I can't wait.
This is it. Oh man.
The Creston Park.
Oh my god. This game is
Yo.
so gorgeous. Big Boss.
Look at this.
Oh man. This looks so good.
This is a day one for me.
I'm telling you, this is the leave the kids, this is one of those games.
Now, this is what Silent Hill 2 should be striving
Oh.
to look like based on what it looked like
Yes.
on the PlayStation. Come on
Yes.
now.
Yes. Yes. I don't see coming in October, they don't have I don't see how unless they're the only way is if that trailer is a very early developer build, right?
Mhm.
And they're purposely showcasing it, and then they come out with like a gorgeous full stop game, which I don't really see the value of that. Like, why not get the hype going? Why not show this is going to be the final product? You only got 2 months left. Why are you not showing what the final version is going to be? That would be the only saving grace. I don't know what would be the reason for that. Me personally, I think that this is the final version and they're just doing some last minute tweaks. But like I said, the rendering, the overall fundamental of the mechanics of the game, it looks very clunky. The attacks, very choppy. I don't see, that's not polishing. That's a complete overhaul. We'll wait and see. I'm definitely not pre-ordering that. I'm gonna definitely wait until the review, tried and true, at least 2 weeks of regular players playing that game. I don't, like he alluded to, I don't really care what the professional critics say about anything. I like to see regular gamers comment on it and give it some time.
Right.
How are you going to formulate it? Like, you see these even user reviews that's like a day after release. This game is trash. This game, I'm like, no, give it some time. Give it some time and let the game marinate. So, thank you. So, I would wait for at least 2 weeks after release date just to see exactly. Get a good sense to see if the game's worth buying.
Right. And we're talking about Silent Hill 2 remake. Alright, so we have the Astrobot game that's coming out. So we have
You got some live audience members.
Yeah, we got some some participants here. So here's the game that I'm excited for. Little Nightmares 3. Okay? I do believe that's one of the most underrated indie games. If it's it's not indie. Is it indie? No, this is made by Bandai Namco. Yeah, this is a Bandai Namco game. I think it's underrated.
I'm actually impressed the way they make those games. I think that format is pretty creative. It's very well polished. It's a very creative take on. I wouldn't call it like a full hardcore horror game.
No,
It's not, but it has elements of suspense.
it does. And
It's side scrolling, but it's very well. It's almost like, what do you call that? Like the not. It's like 2.5D. It's not 2D. It's not 3D. It's like in the middle.
middle, right?
It's not one of those old school completely flat side scrolling, but it's not full 3D. It's like in the middle. I think those games are very well done. I've played Little Nightmares 2. I have not beat it, but I got probably maybe like a third of the way, and then I got into something else. But I would definitely go back and play those games. I was actually very impressed by that game.
Very well done. I feel like Bandai Namco heard me when I reached out to them and said, "Hey, y'all need to do another one." I was the only one, because I did do some live streams for part 1 and part 2, and had some of my guys help me out with the game, and I didn't expect it to turn out the way it did. So, because it's not my cup of tea, really.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let me just download the game. It's just something to play, and it'd be something different on the channel.
Yeah.
So I got into it. It's like, oh, okay. And then some of the guys started helping me out with it. So I was like, okay, just help me solve this puzzle, get up here,
Yeah.
and go this way. And it's very creative. I thought it was just very well done. So I had to play part 2. Play part 2, beat that, and I was like, okay, we gotta make a part 3. And I was surprised they did it because it wasn't. I don't think this game was well received at all.
Well,
I don't think it was that big.
I think for them making part 3, just even though it kind of flew under the radar, I think it was a commercial success. It has to have been, because if they didn't make money, there's no way they would have made a part 3,
right?
or even a part 2. I think part 1 made money, part 2 made money, and I think it may just goes to show you that it probably didn't cost them a lot. It's probably a small team. It's probably a small team, and they made a very well developed game. And it wasn't a full price game, right?
No,
What was it?
no. I think it was. I think it was around like $30.
Yeah, I think they priced it well. So whatever their budget was, I definitely know they made money off of it, enough to make a part 3. And if part 3 does well, I don't see them stopping. This could be a franchise, the way it's going. They could keep on coming up with good games.
Can you shake the dogs with you, please? Oh my. All right, so they did lower the price of the PlayStation consoles.
The Slim?
Yeah, so I
You're
think
talking about the Slim, right?
yeah, the Slim, and so I think they are getting into that mode, that season where Black Friday comes, like you said. Just to get these consoles out, and I think that's. I just have this feeling that they're actually going to make some sort of announcement soon. Because the PlayStation 5 Pro, the specs are already out of what to expect in the console. So, and if they're already lowering the prices of the current console and the Slim, well, the base model and the Slim model, I think they're gearing up.
Don't you think it's strange how you see a comparison between like consoles when they make the Slim model years later, and same thing that usually happens to us people, usually women, is when it comes out, brand shiny new product, everyone wants it, gives a lot of attention. A few years go by, no one's really giving them attention. What's the one question that the consoles and usually women ask? I gotta go on a diet. Let me slim down.
YouTube, do not ban me, please.
Hey, it's good. Susan died. Did you read about that? No worry, you don't gotta worry about Susan anymore.
YouTube, please do not ban me. We got to keep this going, okay? He means well. Just don't take what you're getting.
Okay, reactions. I gotta. Did you see the breakdancing Olympic sport? Yes.
Now.
Okay, let me just say this.
Okay, go ahead.
As a New Yorker that grew up in the 80s, I know that scene
very well.
Very well. I'm embarrassed at what the Olympics did with that. Watching that yesterday was a pure tomfoolery. It was a mockery. I know guys that are probably in their 60s right now that are probably still in the corner in New York looking at that embarrassed. The original B-Boys breakdancing with the cardboard on the corner with the boombox. I swear to God, if they were probably looking at that, and these were the originators, regular guys on the corner with the cardboard, practicing their moves, popping and locking, breakdancing, listening to Grandmaster Flash, and now it's like you got the world stage taking something and making it into a joke. Did you see the girl from Australia?
Yes, that's...
Did she have Tourette's?
I think she...
That was ridiculous.
When I was watching her with my missus, I was like, all she's doing is just, she's not really doing much at all. She's just twisting around and I'm like, what are you doing? That's not breakdancing. It's... What I shared with my wife, I'm like, I've seen this before many, many times. This is, what they're doing is nothing new. This is basic. Just basic breakdancing. But it has evolved within the culture over time. It's evolved. I'm like, I'm okay for new games, whatever, et cetera, changes, fine. But the expectation was to pay homage, right? To pay homage, right. To add more flavor and swag to it. All they did was just, no, I can go outside and do this. I can do this in my house.
I'm telling you,
you get a gold medal for this. I'm like, this can't be it. You can ask my wife. I was like, I can't watch this. I turned it off. I was like, I'm gonna go watch something else. I can't do this.
These guys, I'm recollecting these guys. They're probably in their 60s by now, and they're probably still drinking 40s on the corner. They probably looked at that. They're probably asking, did they consult us? Did the Olympic Committee consult us before they made this? No. Secondly, they probably say, hey, you know what? This is what they're showing. We can get a gold medal. Why not bring these guys, the originators, especially guys that were from the Bronx and Queens and Brooklyn? They will wipe the floor. Oh, this was an embarrassment. I'm sorry to say. There's even YouTube videos of underground breakdancing. Why weren't these guys in the Olympics?
Exactly.
You picked the worst competitors. It was, I'm sorry.
And I was thinking, the Jabberwockies. The Jabberwockies are freaking awesome. I love their dance moves, their schemes, et cetera. But when they did the breaking, oh my goodness, I thought it was phenomenal. I'm like, this is it right here. This is paying homage to that. If you can do your research, go online and look at breaking. B-boys. You can see the difference between where it's come from and when it got to a certain space and to what was shown at the Olympics, you'd be like, no, this is not it. This cannot be it, dude. But
Well, there's three pillars of hip hop culture. 3 pillars. The 3 pillars are breakdancing, rap, and graffiti. Those are the 3 pillars of hip hop culture. That's what started in the late 70s, early 80s. Is the graffiti scene, the breakdancing, and rap. That's what established the hip hop culture. And then the clothing style came later. So that's the one of the 3 fundamental pillars, breakdancing. You don't do it justice. And then it's almost like you mock it. Did you see the background? The boombox
the big
background.
boombox, yeah.
And then the judges, they look like they got, they bought their attire off of Temu with the bucket hats, the sunglasses. You saw the announcer. They made everyone seem like they were down with the scene. But you can tell it was so forced. The imagery was so forced. It wasn't authentic.
And it's not a race thing. We're not throwing a race in any of this. It's part of a culture. And you take something that's part of a culture, and then you just, I'm like, no, that's not it. You can't.
They whitewashed it in a way, where they took something that were started by basically black people in the Bronx, black minorities, and they said, well, how can we make this appealing to the world? Well, let's take all the stereotypes from it and put together this production and put it on the world stage. You see people, I don't know if these people were bought and paid, the people in the audience.
Oh, they were just still.
Well, some people
was cheering. Some people
yeah,
cheering.
some people, I'm like, what are you cheering for? What are you? And yeah, some of them were just like deadpan.
Yeah, because
Right.
I could see that. I was like, some people were just like,
Right.
and there were people cheering. I'm like, no, this is not it. This is not it, dude. This is not it. And then, what I was thinking about, I was like, your same mindset. I was thinking, I was like, well, Tim's from New York.
It was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
And it's not all about you just being from New York.
But I grew up in that scene, seeing it firsthand. That was like a normal thing for me to see, walking from home to school, going to the park, playing handball, watching people practicing their breakdancing moves on a piece of ratted cardboard with the old school boombox. People asking, yo, you got any D batteries? Yo, my thing's getting low. Yo, B. What's up, B? Yo, you ain't got any D battery? Yo, my thing's getting low right now. That's how it was. That was just a normal thing. So you see it. That's part of your childhood growing up in that scene. And people practicing their rhymes, getting into rap battles. So it's like you got the B-boys with the boom boxes, then you got the kids with the spray cans because they're practicing their graffiti, then you got kids on their pen and pad practicing their lyrics. That's what the culture was. And to see it, like, oh man, it just doesn't do it justice. Yeah. I don't see it. I don't think it's going to make a comeback.
I was telling my wife
I think
the
this
same
is
thing.
a one and done. I think this is a one and done.
Not going to. I'll be shocked if it's at the next Olympics. What, in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
I'll be shocked if they bring it back. And I told my wife, I was like, I don't think they're going to do this again because it didn't garner enough.
Yeah.
Attention.
Now don't get me wrong.
It makes no sense.
It's definitely. You can call it a sport. I will give it that. Like, it does require. It requires coordination. It requires stamina. It requires balance. Those are, physically demanding attributes that you have to practice on. This is not this. It could be classified as a sport. Don't get me wrong, but it does have cultural significance to it. So you have to do it justice, and just the way they presented it, I don't think was a good look at all.
But the Olympics are over now.
Oh, was that the last? Was yesterday?
No, the last event was today. The U.S. women won the basketball against France, won the gold. So that was the last event. So, well, actually, yep. Was it today? Yeah, today. Yesterday. No, today. Yeah, today.
That was last.
No, this morning.
Women's basketball.
Was it yesterday or today? Oh my goodness, losing my mind. I know we was watching it this morning.
So what do you think they'll do with the closing ceremonies? Do you think they'll make a mockery of the crucifixion?
Look.
They started off with a mockery of the Last Supper. Let's see what they end with.
I do not know why there was not a major uproar when that happened. Yes, I know. I mean, what do you want us to do? Go and... No, it's... I think there should have been... Not even the freaking Catholic Church responded to it when it happened.
Well, I showed you that thing. It took Erdogan, whatever his name is, from Turkey, to speak out. And then the Pope comes out. How are you... As the Pope, how are you not the first person to come out the day of and condemn? It's blasphemy.
That was completely disgusting.
And
for Christians, I would be, yes.
Well,
you want to be all loving, great, but I would have a offense to that. No, you can't do that. You can't.
They would never try that with Islam. I'm telling you that right now. They would never try that with Islam. That just goes to show you how watered down Christianity has become, which is an atrocity. Anything that turns away from God is never to be mocked. And to show that front and center on the world stage, that was an absolute atrocity. And not to have the backlash. There's a saying, you want to be tolerant, you want to be accepting and forgiving. There's a saying, you want to be open-minded, but not so much that your brain falls out. I think we've reached the point where the people in charge that show you what's on TV, show you what's on the radio, it's gotten to the point where there's no standard anymore. It's just, we can make fun of anything, everything's accepting, and if you criticize it, you're in the wrong.
Yeah.
And it's another saying, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. You can't be so tolerant to everything. There has to be hard rules in place to say, that's a line you can't cross. There has to be a line. You can't be tolerant. That's impossible. Because that means there's literally nothing you stand for. And you're going to choose the one thing that should never, ever be made fun of? Unbelievable. I think this whole Olympics, just everything about it is really showcases the problems of society. But I think that's a deeper discussion for another day. Gaming reactions. Let's keep it light and funny.
Yeah. We don't want to, strike some nerves and upset some people, and have to.
That's right. This is Switzerland. This is neutral territory.
Right. I have to be mindful, and I don't want my channel taken down because I offended someone. So we just have to formulate it in a way where that it doesn't do that. And in my opinion, I think that was not the right. Whoever sat at the round table and made those decisions, they had to know that this was going to make some noise, right? But I don't think that the noise was elevated enough, because
No, not at all.
it's scary. It's scary because now it's like, as we move forward in time, which I believe is a man-made concept, it's being overshadowed. You know, the purity of it is being overshadowed by anything and everything now, and it's just. I'll put it like this. Now, I did tell my wife that I was not going to talk politics on my channel. But I will say this, and I know I'm going to get some backlash for it. Kamala Harris cannot sit in front of me with a straight face and tell me that what she wants aligns with her morals, values, and beliefs. If that makes sense. What she's running for president for aligns with her morals, values, and beliefs. Because I can ask the most basic, simple questions by picking up the Bible. And I guarantee you I'll get different answers. Because if your Bible says that it's an abomination, you can't sit here with a straight face and tell me that, hey, we need to be woke. We need to be tolerant. No.
We need to let boys into your daughter's bathroom.
We need to install tampon installers
Into the boys' restroom. It's absolute lunacy.
Man, I hate to bring it up, but I'm going to do it. When you tell me that you believe every word in the Bible is the word of God, that's it. You believe every word in the Bible is the word of God, then you should know that it is an abomination. Period. Now, let me see if I can add some more context around it. I asked you a question. Do you believe every word in the Bible is the word of God? And you say yes. Then you should know that what you are standing for is an abomination, because it spells it out in your Bible. So you're telling God, hey, I believe every word that you say here, but yet you do the opposite. That makes no sense to me. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now. Hopefully I don't strike a nerve with anyone. But if it's, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pass judgment. Whatever you decide to do with your life, you do with your life. Okay? I'm going to try my best not to pass judgment. All I'm asking you, as a Christian, you say that you believe every word in the Bible is God's word. Then, if God is saying that this is an abomination, then why are you for that? It just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get canceled. Okay. Am I making sense, or am I?
Well,
should we even consider talk about this?
You know my position on all of this, man.
Maybe we're gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna say anything else on it.
You let me talk, I will get you canceled.
We'll leave it at that. We'll go back to video games. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. For the people that did chime in and watch us, listen to us talk about, just catching up on some things, and maybe we will be more structured the next go around and work our way through some topics. And I mean, this is just a let's catch up moment and see what's going on.
Yeah, if you still see his face on the milk cartons at your local store, just know he has been found.
I'm still alive.
I hope not to put on any more Amber Alerts, Negro Alerts.
But again, if you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. Again, we do have 2 giveaways going right now. We have a bonus giveaway for Black Myth Wukong going right now, and it has been a great turnout. So I'd like to say thank you to all.
You know what the good thing about those type of giveaways are? Is there can't be any distribution problems, unlike your hoodies. See, with the games, he'll easily send you the code. You can download the game. But if you expect hard merchandise,
you will get your merch. Don't listen to him. You will get your merch. He got his merch. He finally showed up to get his merch. Okay, it took him years. So let's put it out. Let's put the truth out there. It took him years to show up to get his merch.
Okay.
It was here at all time. It was just sitting fresh, waiting for him. I'm like, hey, the thinker, you need to just come on over here, man. Oh, I'm going.
Wait a minute. I do recall you saying, wasn't your press broken at one point? I don't know. My press is not working. I can't get a line right. It's not sticking.
I had to buy a new press, so I had to buy a high-end press. So I brought one of those, mediocre presses, and the quality was not coming out the way it wasn't doing its thing. So
hey, you know what? I will tell you though, both hoodies have survived several washings.
Really,
and the sticker has not faded.
Wow, really? That's good to hear. Mine's is starting to fade now, but it's been several years though.
Yeah,
which is good. So again, we are doing a Black Myth Wukong bonus giveaway. So all you have to do is to be a follower. That's the only requirement, and it is a bonus. And that was,
what's the other giveaway?
The other giveaway is a Astrobot DualSense controller.
Astrobot, well, the controller.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I was able to acquire a few. So, and I noticed there's just a lot of gamers out there that wasn't able to get one. So, it's a good turnout for that one as well. So again, thank you to all the followers. If I had something to give everybody,
I can't believe they're actually trying to scout these things on eBay.
Yeah, they're on eBay right now. That's the only place you can get it for right now until
crazy.
Sony or one of these retailers decide to,
I remember when that whole PS5 debacle, all those, when the PS5 first dropped, and all those scalpers on eBay, and then it backfired on a lot of them. These guys had so much. I remember seeing these guys taking videos of like their inventory in their basements in their living room. It's like, yo, I got 50 PS5s just sitting here collecting dust. And they had to end up selling them under the retail price, which was still hard because people were like, well, why would I want to take a risk buying from an unknown eBay seller when I can just get it from the official PlayStation store or like a major retailer like Target or whatever.
Right.
And you know what? A lot of people are like, good. There's the capitalist in me that's like, hey, kudos to you for seeing an opportunity to make money. But then there's the gamer in me that's like, man, I just want to get the system and play my games. How dare you try to take advantage and upcharge me or whatever? I'm like, I understand that I'm a capitalist, but these people got too greedy.
Exactly.
And I see they're doing it with a controller? Like, really? A controller?
Well, it's a limited quantity.
No, I understand it's limited quantity. It's going to be a hot item. Mm-hmm. But the listings that you showed me do look saturated. They look very saturated, and the prices are all over the place.
It's crazy.
All over the place.
You mean double the price?
I could
for
understand that would be
200.
like the standard. You charge double, all right? So 120. I saw the listings where it was like 180. I'm like, what are you, dude? There's something about being greedy, but you're completely unrealistic. You're gonna be one of these people on YouTube like, oh, I got all these controllers. What am I gonna do with them? Hey, give them away to your family and friends.
Or you're gonna have to come down on the price like some others.
I know a lady that got a lot of chicken wings. Maybe you want to barter with her. I give you 5 controls if you give me a type of chicken.
Man, what was it?
$1.5 million. An employee working someplace that had access, I guess, to ordering food, stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings. I still cannot wrap my head around the math of that. Like, what does $1.5 million worth of chicken wings look like? Like, I'm envisioning a whole warehouse full of chicken wings. How do you steal that much chicken wings? And the kicker is she looks like the stereotypical old black woman that loves her chicken. Now, don't get me wrong, we all love chicken.
Hey.
As Chappelle said, they got the kid in the back, I want that purple drink.
Yep.
He does that skit like, oh yeah, you must like fried chicken and watermelon. Who doesn't like fried chicken and watermelon? That's not just a black. I've not met one person that does not like fried chicken and watermelon.
Exactly.
But then it's like when you see this picture of this person that stole the chicken, you're just praying to God, please don't let it be a black guy, a black person. And it just sure enough, it just perpetuates the stereotype. But $1.5 million.
How do you even get away with that? How long? I mean,
that's like cartel level operation.
With chicken.
Yeah, like Pablo Escobar is like, damn, I thought I was moving product.
Just imagine you see photos of chicken laying out in the middle of the floor, like, yo, stacked up over here, piles of packs of
Pallets
chicken
and pallets of chicken.
Oh my!
Oh man.
Man, you're gonna have to distribute that chicken out, man. You can't let it go to you can't go to
Yeah,
waste.
you gotta let it go. Exactly.
Come on, you gotta give it out now. You got it. You gotta sell. You gotta put it out there, man.
Oh boy. Anyway,
Unless it spoil you and you gotta throw it away. 1 point. Wow, that's insane. Insane. I mean, man, there's so many interesting things going on in the world today, man.
How you gonna go to prison? And you're there as a senior citizen, a black senior citizen in prison. They got you on grand larceny for chicken wings. You're gonna be spending time with hardcore criminals. Yo, what you in for, dog? Steal some chicken. Wait a minute, what? Nah, that gotta be a mistake. How much was it? 1.5 million. 1.5 million? What? 1.5 million?
Hey, this person may just survive in prison. That's comical. That's funny.
Oh
right?
my God.
Because I mean, when do you
What you
ever
in for,
hear
dog?
about
Yo,
somebody
I'm
stealing $1.5 million worth of chicken?
What you in for, dog? Yo, I was slinging that yay. Got caught up by 500 bands. What you in? A Grand Theft Auto. Stole a couple Rolls Royces, some Ferraris. Yeah, total about 700,000. What you in for? Stealing some chicken wings. 1.5 million. Like what?
Breaking news: Deadpool and Wolverine has passed $1 billion worldwide.
You gotta go see that movie.
Gotta go see the movie, guys. It's worth it. Okay.
One of the best Marvel movies of all time.
If you go see it again, let me know.
I do want to see it again.
I'll roll with you.
I want to go see it again.
I'll roll with you. I will support this.
I will say this. I rarely ever would pay twice no matter how good the movie is, but that movie I would pay to see again.
The cameos.
Oh my! I guess we might as well say what's his name? Henry Cavill
as Wolverine.
as Wolverine. Now I'm not gonna lie, that looked dope.
It did. Cause I was like, leaning over to the missus with the missus. I was like, is that Henry Cavill? Like, dude, that's Superman. Like, I can see him playing Wolverine moving forward. If Hugh Jackman doesn't.
Let me ask you this though. Okay, as you know, Hugh Jackman was vehement in saying Logan is going to be my final film. I'm done with the Wolverine role. This is it. When Logan came out, this is it. Boom, I'm done. Same thing with Robert Downey Jr. I'm done. Iron Man died. This is my last. I'm done doing the Marvel movies. That's it. Does it show that how powerful Disney is to get Hugh Jackman to come back and reprise his role as Wolverine, and to get Robert Downey Jr. to come back, not as Iron Man obviously, but as Doctor Doom, but to basically come back and be like, no, you're still gonna work for us, even though they vehemently came out years ago and said, I'm no longer doing a superhero movie, or I'm no longer doing this role. What do you think about that? Money. Dude, these people...
And it makes sense.
These people are bought and paid for. You work in Hollywood, you're bought and paid for.
I look at it like this. When you're so used to doing something, there's only but a short amount of space where you miss it. Right? And like, man, what's a good example? Jordan coming back. I don't know if that's a good example. I'm pretty sure he missed basketball when he went to...
Oh, when he played in the minor leagues? When he played baseball, you mean?
When he played baseball, I was like, I can't cut it here. Well, I do miss basketball, so he came back.
But there's other roles. I mean, there are established actors. You know, it's not like they're being typecast for these roles. Like Hugh Jackman has played in so many different roles. Robert Downey Jr. has played in so many different roles. It would be one thing to say, like, no, this is what you're going to be known for. Say like Chris Pratt.
Okay.
In like Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Star-Lord. They can say like this is his biggest role so far, but he's been in other things.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's been some actors that all they're known for is that one role.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So these actors have options. Hugh Jackman could have been like, no, I'm an A-list actor. I can easily go and do any movie I want.
Right.
Any film studio is gonna gladly take me. I can go create an indie film. I can go create a comedy, a drama, whatever. He can. Has he ever been in a comedy movie? I don't think he has that kind of chops. But Robert Downey Jr., he can do everything. Tropic Thunder is one of my favorite comedy movies of all time. That role, that's one of my favorite Robert Downey Jr. roles I mean, he did that role to perfection for 400 years. I pissed my pants watching that movie. And you know, they say comedy is the hardest thing to do in Hollywood. If you can make people laugh, that's harder than making people cry. Robert Downey Jr. is one of those actors that he can do everything. He can do it all. So for him to come back as Doctor Doom, Disney is like, no, man. I don't know if they really threw a big check at him.
It had to be something.
It has to be. Because these two actors were adamant, saying, I'm done with the superhero movies. And they came back.
Wow.
But even look at Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is a billionaire. He has like a lot of side businesses
and stuff like that.
He doesn't need acting.
I don't think they can. What do you think they can replace him though as Deadpool?
I don't think so.
I don't think they can replace him because
I don't think so.
He fits the freaking character so freaking well. Yes, I can see him playing in other stuff. But replacing him?
No, I don't think so. But he's never given any indication that he wants to leave, though. Unlike Hugh Jackman and Robert Downey Jr., they publicly said, I'm done. You know, after Logan came out and after the Endgame Avengers movie. He's like, that's it, I'm done. But anyway, going back to the point, you got to go see this movie. It's a must-see. Even if you're not a fan of the Marvel movies,
go see it.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I saw it with my wife like the day after it came out. Oh man, so good.
The humor, phenomenal.
Everything, action. It got everything. Man.
It has everything.
It got everything you could want.
The chemistry between Wolverine and
the cameos.
The cameos.
And the big complaint that a lot of the fans were like, the past 4 years, everything's getting so convoluted. Like, where is Disney going with this phase? What are they, like, it's a phase 5 or whatever? Whatever. Everything's getting so convoluted. The Infinity Saga was done very well. They took their time. They introduced the Infinity Stones, introduced Thanos. That was a major story arc in the Marvel Comics. The Phoenix Saga on the X-Men side, when it was owned by Fox, I don't think was done well at all.
No.
But now that now that Disney owns them, now they're combining the two houses together, mutants and superheroes. This movie is that gap and clearing out the multiverse and how all of these timelines come together. It was very well done. The story was very well done.
I shared it with the wifey. I was like, whoever wrote the script, I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds played a major part in writing the script. The guy is phenomenal. He's phenomenal with this role.
Captain America as Human Torch.
Dude,
my
God. Okay. Wait. I leaned over to my wife when he said, "Oh, he's here to save." He's here to save us. I thought it was Captain America,
dude.
That movie
had everything. That movie had everything.
Okay.
Because they're making a new Fantastic Four with Doctor Doom, obviously. Because the ones that Fox did were garbage.
Spoiler alert.
Garbage. I've been waiting for a reboot of it because that's been one of my favorite story arcs in the comics for Marvel was the whole Fantastic Four with Galactus. I mean, that was like one of the pillars of the whole genre. Silver Surfer. When those movies came out, I was so hyped, and then I was like, "Oh, come on, man!"
I thought those movies were done very well.
Very well,
yeah,
really.
The Silver Surfer. I thought the Silver Surfer was done well.
Did they
come out with another one?
They didn't even show Galactus though.
Exactly.
They just showed the outline.
Yeah, that's the part.
Now maybe the technology didn't exist at the time. Dude, you can CGI Galactus into something incredible. They gotta bring Man, oh my God. What's this?
Gears of War.
Oh, this is Gears of War? Yeah, we were just talking. We didn't cover this, but we were talking about that offline with the Call of Duty, Gears of War, Halo team coming together. We'll see what happens.
The next Halo game has to do very well.
If it doesn't, they're gonna shelf it. I think so. I think they're gonna shelf it, and I think they're gonna take the creative minds of all their three powerhouses, Halo, Call of Duty, and Gears of War. Now, Call of Duty, that's their moneymaker. That's the whole reason why they bought Activision. So they're not going to touch that. But they definitely can pull the talent from the other two, bring them together, and they can make a whole brand new first-person shooter with the best first-person shooter minds in the entire world, basically.
Now, Halo, it does well. It's continuing to do well right now. It had a rocky start. I went on and made a statement to say that Call of Duty was going to be their main shooter moving forward. Because that's, like you said, that's where the money's coming in, right there.
Yeah, you don't spend $70 billion and start changing things up. You're gonna let that run. That's your cash cow.
And I think Halo Infinite, was a $500 million budget?
Wow, that's massive.
And it had a rocket. Like, come on. stop.
They lost money on that?
Oh no, I think they made their money.
Oh, okay.
They made their money back and then some.
Okay.
But the thing is, you got to be careful though, because that's your flagship title. That's your baby. That's Xbox's baby. Halo. Halo was huge, right? But you have two powerhouses. You have Halo. Now you have Call of Duty. There shouldn't be no reason why both of those can spear shot Xbox into another dimension, right? So my question is how long can you continue making content? Well, with Call of Duty, people are going to buy Call of Duty, period.
Well, Call of Duty has reached the level of where it's almost like a smartphone. Every year they'll come out with a new iPhone, new Galaxy, but they're not really changing anything major with the phone. It's just like oh look, the camera's over here now.
Yep.
Or it's a new skin, or it's a little bit faster processor. It's nothing groundbreaking. So it's almost like an automobile.
But it's so appealing.
Oh, that's
the appeal is there.
Oh yeah, there's. I know you know many people that they have to have the latest iPhone, they have to have the latest Galaxy, or even cars. There's people I know, they just lease cars and they got to get the newest lease.
Right.
They'll just roll over. Oh, I got the new model, and nothing has changed with the car. All they'll do is like change some trim settings. Same thing with Call of Duty. Like this, it's like they give it a facelift. You know, there's really nothing groundbreaking for the campaigns. You know, people just buy it just to have the latest version, to play the newest maps. You know, maybe they'll introduce some new weapons, some new skins. You know, or then start the rankings over. New season, because everything's really multiplayer. Like, no one really plays the campaign anymore. Because the campaign at most is only, like 5? You could beat it in like 5 hours.
Right.
It's not, they know what they're doing. They're not really making the game for the single player. This is an online platform game. That's where the money's to be made.
And, you know, with Call of Duty continuing to come out every year, at least one or two.
Yeah, like clockwork.
You know, that could, you know, be that game to allow Halo to continue to develop itself, because Halo doesn't come out every year. It comes out every generation. Just once a generation, maybe one or two. But it doesn't come out every year. So if you're going to maintain Halo as top dog, then you shouldn't have any reasons not to have that game up here.
Well, I don't think it is. As far as from a financial standpoint, it's not their flagship. Call of Duty has sold, I think, more copies than Halo has, right?
I don't know at this point, but I would say yes.
Yeah, just because they come out every year.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go off. Yeah. If you look at Call of Duty as a whole, yes,
they definitely made much more money.
Way more money.
That was why the purpose of the acquisition, $70 billion valuation. You know, without Call of Duty, there's no way that deal gets done. So even though Halo may have been their flagship as far as like what they kind of built their fan base on, their system on, even though that wasn't like their Master Chief wasn't really their like unofficial mascot or whatever you want to call it, that was their like in-house flagship game to say, this is what the Xbox can do. Look at our first-person shooter. This is it. But they buy Call of Duty, or Activision. Call of Duty is the king of first-person shooters. I'm sorry, but Halo has to take a back seat. Just from I'm just talking strictly from a financial perspective. I'm not talking about from a marketing perspective that they can still use Halo to say, this is our brand, this is our roots.
Right.
This is how Xbox got started. But from a financial standpoint, Call of Duty blows them out the water.
But I'm still a little bit of a skeptic around this, if that's the right word. Call of Duty has more appeal than Halo. To me, that's just my opinion. Some Xbox gamers like, dude, what's wrong with you? I'm like, dude, Call of Duty is always in the spotlight. Halo is not. I guarantee you, I can bet you the next console right now, when Black Ops 6 drop, the player base is gonna go through the freaking roof, and let's not even include. Well, I'll be no, that'll be off because. Well, actually, we can include PlayStation fan base because we got a 10-year deal with Sony.
Well,
it's still an Xbox game,
Right.
so the player count is going to be through the roof. Halo Infinite is going to. There's going to be still players there.
Yeah.
But that player count is going to be down here. Black Ops 6 is going to be way up here.
Anything that's multi-platform, the numbers are going to be sky high.
I think it's kind of. I don't know if it's. Because Halo has multiplayer.
No, multi-platform, different consoles. Halo is a Xbox exclusive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an Xbox.
That's what I'm saying. But Call of Duty, that full tally is going to be PlayStation and Xbox players. You see what I'm saying? That's why that number is going to be in the stratosphere. If you're only looking at the Halo numbers, that's only people that have Xbox or Game Pass.
Okay.
If it's across multiple platforms, that number is going to be through the roof. So it's not really a fair apples to apples comparison.
Okay, then I'll say this then. I can guarantee you there'll be more gamers on Xbox playing Call of Duty than Halo. Just Xbox alone. When Black Ops 6 drops, those numbers are gonna. Halo is gonna. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I would agree with you on that.
And yeah, some gamers will come back and say, "Oh, well, Halo has been out already."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. This is a new installment. To me, I just think it's a DLC of what they're doing with Call of Duty. But never mind me, guys. Whatever.
You want to leave it there?
Yeah, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there.
Let's not upset the FPS fanboys.
Yeah. But Halo's a good game. Call of Duty, it's gonna do some crazy numbers. Anything else that you wanted to?
No, we covered a lot of good topics today.
Cool. All right, we're gonna check out, guys. Appreciate you guys, sticking with us. Man, we've been on here for like 2.5 hours, a little bit over 2.5 hours, and that's not bad. You can get home and eat your grapes and get back to gaming, right? So
yeah, I gotta be Stellar Blade.
Yeah,
Wukong's dropping soon. Gotta get ready for that.
So appreciate it, guys. Take care of yourselves. Have yourself a great Sunday, and get ready to prepare for the week. And we'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Peace.
Take care. Peace.
Peace.